For today's video, we have the round 12 team announcements. And for the most part, it's probably more bad than good, but we'll go over a few rookies that have been dropped, a few rookies that have been named, so might have some downgrade options coming up. And yeah, some big ins, especially in Brisbane, and we'll speak about that in a second. But for the most part, I think we've lost a few rookies that we thought would get over the buys, but probably would have only given us 50s or something anyway, so not horrendous, but at the same time we'd like a few more warm bodies. But we'll go through the 6 teams. So yeah, just the 6 teams this week because of the bye rounds. So yeah, we'll get stuck into it. So the first game is in Melbourne versus Brisbane. Very excited for this one. It's in Western Sydney. For Melbourne, Ed Langdon is out injured. Had a very good year, but unfortunate. Was it concussion? I think doesn't matter anyway. He's not for a Supercoach anyway. Lachie Neale in, so that's the big one. So I think a few people want to go early on him. I'll look at him around 14. I think his break even's not. I think it's in the 90s or 100 or something like that. So maybe Harms goes to him like he did to Libba. But we'll see. That will be a very interesting one to watch Lachie Neale. So hopefully he's one where if he looks irresistible, then maybe we have to move mountains to get him in because it's Lachie Neale. But then again, he's missed a lot of football this year, missed a lot of preseason. So I'm really not sure what Neale will average for the year. My guess would have been 120, maybe a bit lower. There might be a Mark O'Connor tag coming up, but that's something we'll think about that in round 14, I think. Now James Madden is out, so this was always the risk with Madden, and I don't think this surprises anybody here. So if you have him, I mean, it's unfortunate, I guess, but probably thought Leicester came in a bit early. But yeah, the one that I was not willing to pick up because of his job security, and that's exactly what's happened. So Matheson is out, which is good for Dev. So it's probably Dev or Matheson, and Dev was probably more talented and played better. So pretty obvious, much a no-brainer there. And Berry is in as a medical. Is out. Sorry. So looking at the team lineups, nothing. Maybe like probably not Bowie debut, but nothing really on this list. So James Jordan's named a half forward, so his CBAs have gone down a lot, but he's still scoring okay. But yeah, still one you can probably hold another 1 or 2 weeks. And defense, Pryor's playing. Zorko named in the center. See what impact Neale has on all 3, Zorko, McLuggage, and Lyons. So because McLuggage has been going off the past few weeks, Joe's still playing, so Dev on the bench. So for the sub, I don't know. It could be Madden sub. My guess would be Matheson, but I'm not sure. The barometer. So next game is Crows versus Collingwood. So Ronan O'Connor in, Murray out, Berry injured. So Berry should be back with, I think it was concussion, so he should be back next week. Now, Ronan O'Connor, so not one I would not pick this week, but I did like what he did when he played the other day in about 50% game time. So that says to me that maybe he's not ready and they just wanted to give him a bit of game time. However, he's been very good in the SNFL and has a lot of good attributes. So definitely one for the future for the Crows. But I'm not sure what his output at AFL level is going to be. So I think he's had a year in the system right now, and he would most likely be a straight swap for Berry next week. So he's one where I would wait on Ronan O'Connor. But I do like him. It's just I don't know how he fits in. Like, he's off this list, he would be the first one to go out when Berry comes back. So one where it's a little risky to go early on. But I like him. Collingwood, Elliott in, Rantel. So that's a rookie. So he's been okay in the VFL. I think had a bit of a rough game when he played. Came into the team. Him and Finn didn't really do a whole lot. Thomas in, Max Lynch in. Out is Brody Grundy. I'll be holding Grundy. Brown omitted, Main managed. That's interesting. Okay, so maybe Murphy plays halfback or something. Finn is out, so maybe he's sub again. And Wilson is out. So Wilson was a bit of a dodgy rookie. He looked wasn't super impressive. So I think most people ignored Wilson, but had a decent role. So on Crows' side of things, looks like the Crows are not playing a key forward, a second key defender again, which means Darcy Cameron could have a field day, or Myercheck, as pretty much every forward does against the Crows. So one to look out for, I guess, but not super coach relevant. But yeah, I'm a little surprised Murray was dropped. That's pretty harsh. So that's the Crows side, nothing standing out. And then the Collingwood side, Murphy at halfback is good. So I think I have to field him this week because Highmore's dropped. We haven't got to that yet. Poulter is on a wing, which is great. Side bottom in the middle. So yeah, side bottom sort of bought himself a bit more inside mid-time, which is good if you have him. Cameron should score well the next 2 weeks without Grundy, although he does play Gore next week. So maybe he doesn't, but I expect him to score well this week. It's just when Grundy comes back, probably goes back to his 80s average or something. Max Lynch, is he rucking? Rucking, I guess. Okay. Okay, so he's 123k ruck forward. Okay, so is that a debut? I don't even know. So he's one probably that goes out when Grundy comes back. So probably not really an option. And Rantel want to watch Bianco on the bench, which is great. I think a lot of us are going early on Bianco, and I will be doing that. Subs, I don't know for the Crows. McPherson's been really good the past few weeks in this NFL, so maybe he's sub. And then maybe Finn again, or Cal Brown. Essendon versus Richmond. So Dreamtime game at the Optus Stadium. So that's kind of cool. Sold out crowd. Francis in, Thatcher out, Snelling out. So probably a little, I guess, I'm not sure it's exactly like for like position, but maybe helps Waterman a little bit. So Laverde was in doubt. So he's playing, which is probably bad for Ridley. But yeah, we'll see what happens this week. In is Marlon Pickett and Shane Edwards, so that's all of a sudden made me nervous for RCD, but RCD survives. And Ralph Smith was good last week, so a bit stiff. And Nank is injured for a 4 to 6, something like that. So on Essendon side, I'm a little stressed about the Ridley pick because of his role the other day, but hopefully he goes back to rebounding and freed up because he's very good in that role. This is an interesting one. So probably I haven't really heard anyone speak about Langford, but Langford is a interesting proposition. So he's named on the ball, and he's one that I've considered, but I don't expect him to have a very high ceiling. But one I've taken notice of and watched a lot of footage of the past few days because I need a cheap forward, and I think if you don't want Heaney, I think he's the best cheap forward option. But I don't know about his role security. It's speculative. I really don't want to be going speculative picks at this stage, but when you're locked into a price range, then it causes problems. So it's an interesting one, Langford, but yeah, very bit of a tough one. Just interesting to see he's named on ball. So yeah. And then Waterman survives, which is great. Sub, I wouldn't have a clue who will be sub. I think Ambrose has been good in the VFL, but he's like old now. Why would they bother with him? Richmond, Hurley's been a bit out of form lately, I think, so which is helping short. Coleman James named forward, so I think, given what happened last week, I think Chol probably 70 to 80% and Coleman Jones 20 to 30% rucking would be my guess. But Coleman Jones is very good last week. So he's one I'll bring in. I think I'm actually getting him in this week, Coleman Jones. Dusty named it full forward, it's whatever. Shea Bolton named on bowl, so probably expect him to mid and forward role. Then RCD, so hopefully he can give us a bit more money. Not a very good pick if you got him at 180k like me, but probably the only one that did that. Ralph Smith maybe sub, he was very stiff. Ryan Miller, I don't know. I haven't really heard of those two players, so Rioli is so maybe Ralph Smith sub. Sydney versus Sankuera. Joe Marty, so I believe he's playing, I think. Yeah, so he's about a 200k ruck forward, I think. I can't remember. He's a tall anyway. I think he's ruck, but not super sure. But probably not an option. But yeah, I think he's 21 or something. So I did a quick Google on him, but not just one way. Wait and see. Logan McDonald is in, which is cool. cool to see. Big Logan back. Fox in, Hickey in. So Sinclair out. Some people still have Hickey, which is pretty surprising, but been a good pick, I guess. You could cover him. Stevens out. Interesting, it was linked to the Crows on the news the other day, but it's whatever. McLean out, Brand out, Taylor out, and then in is Hunter Clark, and out is Loney and bloody Highmore's out. So yeah, Highmore's just been a bit of a bait starting pick, unfortunately. So Claverino, we'll get to Saints in a second. We'll just go over Sydney. Heaney named forward. So I guess Logan and Franklin, that probably helps Heaney. Mills midfield, it's whatever. And St Kilda side, so Claverino was probably worse than Highmore, so I don't really understand that. But yeah, Highmore played shut down, could not play loose, because I think Wilkie's, even though Wilkie's key defender, he kind of I think he's naturally third tall. In the SNFL he was from memory. So yeah, no Caulfield. Oh no, Caulfield's in. Oh, he was back last week. So Highmore maybe sub. I would imagine Highmore sub based on this list, because Long's been terrible. I'm not sure about Loney. So Burns last on the bench. Burns is very good. I think his job security is very good. So that's the Saints, I think. So Carlton versus West Coast Sunday. Is this the only? There's 2 Sunday games. So yeah, late start. So we won't see a game till about 3 o'clock. Newnes Park's the outfisher, so that's just extended bench. So nothing really set in stone here. And then the Eagles have a lot of players. So Answorth in. Harry Edwards is the key defender, I believe. That's replaced McGovern. Luke Edwards, son of Tyson Edwards. So Crows actually knocked him back as a father-son, I think. Probably has a point to prove then. So he's a midfielder, very young. So one to keep an eye on Luke Edwards. So obviously there is midfield opportunity. So he could be a downgrade option around 14. The only thing is they have a lot of players to come back. But yeah, Vardy in, O'Neill in, Langdon in, and Zane Shrew. I can't remember if he's actually debuting or not. Or he's just extended bench. I can't remember. But Shrew is a one that didn't get picked up in the draft but was expected to. And then got picked up in the rookie draft. So another contested inside mid. Keep an eye on him. But yeah. We'll need to gauge what happens with the West Coast mids as they come back. So Archie out, Brander out, Kennedy out, Oscar Allen out, Tim Kelly out. So Darling's probably going to take first defender. Hearn's playing. Not really sure what else here. Yeah, they are injuries galore at West Coast, so this is going to be a rough game going away. Fully expect Carlton to get up, but they can't be trusted, so interesting. So yeah, a few rookies to watch here. So Fremantle, Griffin Logue, Weston, Taberner, and Conker in. Swikowski out. So Dogs in, Scott, which is probably bad because we need to get rid of him if you still have him because of his break even. Hannon, West, Gardner, Steph. And out is McNeil, which is, I still have McNeil, so I actually might hold McNeil and then trade him next week, just trade other things. And then Garcia is out. He was a rookie, but he was concussed, so very stiff. So might have been a possible good rookie for us, but I think he got KO'd in the first quarter, so no idea. So Fremantle side of things, Akers wing, Brayshaw named on a wing, but it's whatever. Chera named on ball, Fife on ball, and then Tracy, does he play? I'm not sure. Tabner's in, so maybe Tracy loses his spot. Dumant's wrong, Strong will play, so I'm not really sure. And then the Bulldogs, Dale was named on a wing last week, but he pretty much played quarterback role, so that's not really an issue. Waitman on field, that's great if you have him. Baz on ball, although he did lose a bit on ball time. McRae ball, Bont for forward. So this is, yeah, I think Bevo has been trolling in team selection the past few weeks. Hunter named at half forward, doesn't look great, but I fully expect him to play more wing. So who's sub? So McNeil can't be sub. I wouldn't have a clue who's sub. Maybe Lippy or something, or Riley West. So I think that's all the team. So I think the main one is probably Madden and Highmore, and then watching Neil. Yeah, I think especially Highmore, because I think he's still probably really, really highly owned. Probably would have been nice to get him over the next 2 weeks, but fingers crossed for next week. And then, yeah, all eyes on Neil tomorrow. So thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you guys soon.